You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Well, hello there, everyone. Happy holidays. It's Holly with Melody Lane Inspired. So today I'm coming to you with a tutorial on how to layer iron-on. So we had an ugly Christmas sweater party in our 24/7 crafting Zoom for our supporters. And when you have a Cricut, one does not simply buy an ugly sweater shirt, you make it. Now I put this on a t-shirt, so you can put it on whatever you like, but we are going to use a few items from Cricut's Thanksgiving mystery box in this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to layer some iron-on. So let's get started. First, I'm going to go ahead and show you what products we're going to be using. So I have this glitter iron-on sangria sampler that was in the Thanksgiving mystery box. You know I love some sparkly. So I'm going to be using the gold and the silver inside of the sampler. If you got the Season of Gifting Cricut mystery box, that also had the gold glitter iron-on in it. And there's never enough glitter, so I'm also going to be using the glitter iron-on in white. We are going to also be using the everyday iron-on in red, white, and the Kelly green. The Kelly green was also in the Season of Gifting Cricut mystery box. First, I'm going to go ahead and cut my glitter iron-on. Once you have your design finished in Design Space, you're going to go ahead in the right upper hand corner and click Make It. First, it's going to take you where to choose your mat. Now, I'm doing mine on my mat. If you are using smart materials, you can go ahead and choose without mat. And if you're going to use a combination of the two, you can choose multiple ways. Once you're on the screen, go ahead and hit Continue in the bottom right hand corner. And then here's where you're going to choose your materials. So I'm just going to go ahead and browse iron-on. And the everyday iron-on's the first one listed. Now we're going to use those for the ones that aren't glitter on, but for this one, I'm going to use the glitter iron-on to cut my unicorn. And now you can see here, it's going to tell you make sure your mirror is turned on and the material is shiny side down. That's very important. Because we're doing iron-on, you do have to flip it. So you just go ahead and hit Edit, and then you're going to click the little box that says Mirror, and then it's going to flip your image. Once you've hit done, then it's going to go ahead and your load light is going to be blinking and you are ready to load it. And you're just going to use the regular fine point blade for all of this to cut the iron-on. Now I'm going to go ahead and smooth this, and remember we want it shiny side down. So I'm just going to smooth that onto my mat. And then I like to take my Cricut brayer and then just go over smoothing it. I like to do my iron-on and vinyl in one direction. It does help push bubbles out too if there's any bubbles in the iron-on. And then we're ready. The load mat is blinking, so we are ready to go ahead and load our mat. Now we can see the go light is blinking, so we can go ahead and give it the go. Now we can see the load light is blinking again, so we can go ahead and unload our mat, and then go ahead and flip your mat over. Well, that's how I like to do it. I like to flip it over and pull it off. You can go ahead and leave the mat right side up and take it off if you like to. Whatever is your preference. And then you're going to go ahead and complete that same process for each different mat that you have to make, always remembering to put this shiny side down and make sure that you have mirrored your image. Now that we finished cutting it, it's time to go ahead and weed all of these pieces. Now I like to take my weeding tool and I like to lay my item down, and then I just stick it. Make sure you're not sticking it anywhere where your design is because you don't want to mess that up. And I just kind of like to hook it there and then go ahead and pull it back. Be careful sticking the weeding through tool because it can be sharp. Well, it is sharp. It's definitely sharp. Now let's go ahead and speed this up. No, I do not weed this quickly. This is like turbo weeding. I just noticed Santa's missing an eye. I took Santa's eye. No worries though. I'm going to use my little quick stick, and I found the piece of vinyl. It was still attached to the sheet I pulled off. So I'm going to go ahead and use this quick stick. I love to use this for little items. It has a little putty on the one side that grabs it. I'm going to go ahead and put the links below to go ahead and purchase that if you're interested in that. I love using that thing for little pieces. Now when you put your eye on, just make sure it's going the right direction. So here I'd want to apply the eye with the matte finish side of the iron-on up. Now go ahead and weed all the rest of your pieces. Okay, all done with the trees. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to weeding the Don't Stop Believing. Now I did want to point out how I cut my iron-on here. So you're going to see that I cut out the center section of the iron-on, and you're probably like, why did you do that? Well, I wanted my words, I have the words centered perfectly on here, the don't stop at the top and the believing at the bottom. So I like to cut out the middle section, that way I can lay the whole piece on the shirt. And then I don't have to worry, do I have it spaced correctly? Is it centered? I know if I keep these two pieces attached that it will be. And then that center piece I cut out, I just save for later to use on another project. Love this sparkly unicorn. Now that we're done weeding, we can go ahead and move on to pressing it. Now I am going to be using something I love, the Cricut Autopress, to press this. This makes it so stinking easy. I absolutely love this. Now when you are pressing, it is going to tell you to make sure you have your pressing mat. So that's what I have here. The bottom side does have this non-slip, and then you're going to go ahead and flip that over. Now, before I preheat my fabric, I like to go ahead and lay my stuff out just so I get an idea reference-wise. Like, for instance, these Christmas trees. I know the middle of the Christmas tree is going to be center of the shirt there. Now, to see the time and temp to set it for, you can go ahead and pull up the Cricut Heat app. And then you're just going to scroll across to whatever heat press you're using. Now, I'm choosing to use the Autopress on here. And then I'm going to scroll down, and it's going to have me choose my heat transfer material, which I'm going to start off with glitter iron-on, and then I'll also be using everyday iron-on, so just choose whichever one you're about to press, and then you choose your base material. And I'm actually putting this on a cotton poly blend, and there you see it also has you check the box saying that you do have a Cricut pressing mat. So for the glitter iron-on, it needs to go for 330 degrees at 40 seconds, and you preheat it for 5, and then it also walks you through the supplies you need, the prep, the application, and the care afterwards, which is awesome. So you have it all right there step by step. Now let's go ahead and look at the settings for the everyday iron-on. So we're going to go ahead in the pull down menu. We're just going to choose the top one there, everyday iron-on. And we're still doing the same base material, but choose whichever one you're working at. And it won't let you hit apply until you have the Cricut pressing mat. So for the everyday iron-on, we're going to do 315 degrees for 40 seconds. So I'm now going to go ahead and set this for the 330 degrees and 40 seconds. But I am going to go ahead and preheat the fabric for 5 seconds beforehand. You see the 4 buttons on the top there. Those are actually presets. Number 1 is for sports flex and polyester. The second button is actually everyday iron-on. Preset 3 is for glitter iron-on, and then preset 4 is for infusible ink. So you can go ahead and just choose those options, and it will set it for you automatically. Now you're just going to pre-press it for 5 seconds, and once that's done, you're going to go ahead and start laying your iron-on on. I am going to be layering on my first press 2 different materials, so I'm doing the glitter iron-on and the everyday iron-on. So I choose the temperature that is highest. If there is a big difference in temperature, I like to kind of split it, but this is only a 10-degree difference, so I'm going to go ahead and layer these on and then go ahead and press them at the settings for the glitter iron-on. Now, when putting things this close together, it's very important that I don't have any of the plastic from the iron-on backing touching anything else. So I do make sure that those are spread out and there is space between them. After it is pressed into the shirt, on the next layer, it is okay if the plastic backing goes over the iron-on that has already been pressed. Now, I'm just covering it with a Teflon sheet. Actually, for my first layer, I don't need to use that. I need to use it on the layers after that to protect the ones that are already pressed, but I just like to do it to not forget. Now, as you can see, the light is green there, letting me know that I have reached temperature, so I can go ahead and bring the auto press down. What's amazing is you only need a couple fingers, 2 fingers actually. Go ahead, press down. That engages the auto press. You don't need to apply any pressure with the auto press as it applies the pressure itself. And when it's finished its timing, it goes ahead and raises up all on its own, so there's no need to open it. When it's finished, you hear the beep and it raises. And there is our first layer. Now with iron-on, you do want to wait for it to cool before you peel it. Now I'm just trying to figure out the spacing for my next ones. I'm going to be pressing the unicorn in the believing part, but I have to make sure I have the unicorn in the right place that Santa fits. So I'm going to go ahead and trim across because remember, when we're pressing it on the fabric, we need to make sure it does not overlap with the plastic. So I'm just cutting that down and then taking my Santa and make sure he fits. Which he does, yay! So that is perfect. So now that I know that Santa fits there, I am okay to go ahead and press this next layer. So I'm just going to pull it up, making sure that the pressing pad is completely under it and it's smooth. So we pressed it just like we did previously on the last layer. And then once it's finished, again, we're just going to feel to make sure it's cool before we do the peel. Once it's cool, go ahead and peel it back. I like to hold the shirt taut, and then you want to peel at like a 45-degree angle across it. And now for my next layer, I'm going to go ahead and be putting the gold iron-on sparklies on, the unicorn sparkles. I'm just going to make sure I get those lined up correctly. I can see that my gold sparkles over the leg there, so I am going to move it over some. And remember, once the iron-on is pressed into the fabric, it's okay that the plastic backing's over it because it's already fused in. I'm going to go ahead and place my Santa, but again, making very sure that this plastic does not overlap. So I'm just going to cut it out of there. That way it doesn't overlap with Santa's foot. I like to run my finger lots of times too between the plastics just to make sure they're not overlapping. That's a good way to tell because you can definitely feel it if you can't see it. Once I get those in place, we're going to go ahead and repeat the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put the Teflon sheet on it and then press it. When you take the Teflon sheet off, be careful because it is warm. I'm always checking to make sure it's cooled before I do the peel. And then after this, we only have 1 layer left. No, I lied. Well, no, I didn't. Because we can press it at the same time. We have 2 more pieces, but we can do them as 1 layer. Layering our Santa on top there. When you are doing that layer, I suggest getting right over it to lay it. And then take your time layering it too. That way you get it lined up correctly. And it's time for the final peel. I get so excited with this. Each peel is exciting, actually. And there it is. There's the finished shirt. I absolutely love this thing. I was so excited to wear this to our crafting Zoom ugly sweater party. Crazy enough, there was no design in Design Space of Santa riding a unicorn. So never fear, because Slice and Contour is here. So I just sliced and contoured to get Santa riding on the unicorn. So thank you so much for joining me today. I know we have lots of new members that are just getting their Cricuts. You are going to love it, and don't be afraid to use it. Take it out the box, get started with a project. We have plenty of tutorials here on YouTube to help you along the way. And we have lots of great Facebook groups too, with tons of people that help give great advice. So one of our big groups is Cricut Design Space on Facebook. So go ahead and come to that group and join that group. You'll get lots of inspiration. And we have lots of great crafty friends in there that like to help one another. So go ahead and give us the like and the subscribe, and we will bring you all things Cricut. We very much appreciate you using our affiliate links in the description of the video. We do get a small percentage of commission on that, and it doesn't cost anything to you. Also in the description below is links to enter our Melody Lane monthly giveaway. We do a Cricut giveaway every single month, and this month, 2 winners are going to win $250 each to spend at Cricut.com, and you can enter that until Christmas morning at 6 a.m. Eastern. So good luck to you all. And as I said, this sweater was for our 24/7 Crafting Zoom Christmas party. Our 24/7 Crafting Zoom is available to all of our supporters on Patreon, starting at $2 a month. You get not only that, but you get access to over 1,000 ready-to-make projects. And the Crafting Zoom's an awesome place because you get to stay at home and be safe, but you get to be social and make great crafty friends. It's a wonderful place. We have a lot of very knowledgeable Cricut friends in our 24/7 Craft Zoom. They'll do projects together. They'll help one another. They lean on one another. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. Santa will be on his way soon. I think technically, maybe he's already left the North Pole. I don't know. But I hope Santa is good to you all and your wishes come true. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. It's winter solstice. You guys all have a fabulous, fabulous Merry Christmas, and we thank you so much for letting Melody Lane Inspired be a part of your year. Special thanks to all of our amazing, amazing people that make this all possible, to our amazing admins, our supporters, our sponsors. We are truly grateful for you. You guys, let's give a thank you to our admins who help us all year long. They are in the groups helping answer your questions. So in the comments, let's just say thank you. We have Jamie and our 2 Sues. So thank you, ladies. And we will see you all next time. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye. Now here's a shout out to some of our supporters on Patreon. Phyllis, Ann, Martha, Robin, Barbara, Lori, Courtney, Deborah, Lucy, Brenda, Paula, Edna, Susan, Phyllis, Marjorie, Lisa, and Sidonia.